Welcome to today's training. Today we've been having a lot of calls over pass interference and where do we mark it off from, and there still seems to be a lot of confusion. So I'm just going to go through some of these snaps and yard lines and kind of go over how we would assess the penalties. Now, all these plays, there's probably not going to be any pass interference on it, but it's just for examples. So that way we can just kind of walk through where we're snapping from and where the penalty would be enforced to. So here we go on this first play. We're snapping from the 27-yard line. So remember, DPI, these are DPI files only. So we're going to be going only over DPI files. So if we had DPI on this play, we would add it around the end zone. We're snapping from the 27, 15 yards. We're going to go the full 15 yards even though we're inside of the 30. So next snap would be from the 12. Okay. A lot of guys are going with a 15-yard foul. We're inside the 30. It's half the distance. Remember, DPI is a full 15. So we would be our next snap from the 12. Here we go. Same play. On this one, we're snapping it from the 12. So now, if we would have had a DPI here at the 9-yard line, that would be a spot foul. So we would have it at the 9-yard line with a first down. Even though we snapped at the 12, being that the spot of the DPI is at the 9, it's going to be a spot foul. Okay. Now, if he would have been in the end zone, we would have took it to the 2. So then you would have a 10-yard penalty, but the foul happened in the end zone. Or I'm sorry, this one happened at the 4-yard line. So we're going to move the ball from the 12 to the 4. And then that would be a first down for the offense. Okay, on this one, we're snapping again from the 27. So if we would have had DPI, we would have went up a 7-yard foul, first down at the 20. Remember, anything inside of 15 is going to be a spot foul, but it is still an automatic first down. So now if he would have thrown it deep down here, and we would have had the DPI, again, if we went from the 27 to the 12, we'd win a full 15. Here we're snapping from the 8-yard line. No, 7-yard line, I'm sorry. So snapping from the 7. So if he'd have thrown it, we had DPI right here. Back up a little bit. These guys are really close. So if we had had DPI, if he would have thrown it, and this was DPI on the defense, which this was actually offense, would have been DPI. But if it would have been a pass and the black jerseys would have fouled, then we would put the ball on the 2-yard line. Got a lot of snaps from the 27. Again, short pass. We would add DPI, spot a foul, deep. We'd have took it all the way to the 12. Where I picked off teams snapping from the 27. Here we go, snapping from the 20. Give you a good instance. Throws it deep. If he would have thrown deep to this guy, and we would have had a foul at the 2, well, we would have still went the full 15 to the 5-yard line. Okay, so if we'd had any foul inside here, we'd have went 5, 10, 15 to the 15. If it happened in this side of the 5, we would have a spot foul. So it's just a quick deal for your back judges and deep wings that know where your flag or where your foul is. So when you're reporting, I got DPI, it's going to be from the spot of the foul, or we're going to go from the previous spot. That helps out your umpire a lot and your referee in his announcement. So on this one here, if we went deep, we go full. Even though we're snapping at the 20, we're going the full 15. If we'd have snapped at the 17, we're going the full 15. Okay, so once we get inside the 17, that's when we're either going to be a spot foul, or if foul happens in the end zone, we're coming back out to the 2. So get that on DPIs for the defense. Get that out of your head that we're going half the distance once we get into this inside of the 30. We do not have a half a distance unless we're down at the 2-yard line, and then we have a foul in the end zone. Then we'll go half the distance. But we got to be at the 2 when we start that. So just make sure that you get that part, just get it in there really good, because we've got a few veteran officials that the last few weeks have went half the distance. There is no half the distance when you snap at the 20. It's either going to be full 15 or it's going to be a spot foul. Here we're snapping at the 10. Throws in the end zone. Pass interference. Snapped it from the 10. Foul in the end zone. We're going to the 2. So, like I said, just get that half the distance out, unless we're snapping it from the 2. Okay, guys? Here we go. Snapping it from the 31. So, if we have DPI, which it looks like that's what the call is, might be. Could be calling it holding, but in this case you could convert DPI or holding to a DPI. In this case here, I'm going with holding, so we're going to go full 10 yards. Automatic first down. If you went DPI, you would go from the spot of the foul, because it would not be a 15 because it's inside of 15. But now if he would have thrown it deep, 31, full 15, so we went to the 16. So just make sure that you got that. Like I said, we're outside of the 2, and then 17. When we get to the 17, and we have a foul in the end zone, we're going to the 2. If we have a foul at the 1, we're going to the 2, because we're going to give them the full 15. If it happens at the 7, we're going to put the ball on the 7, because it's inside of the 15. Snapping it from the 24. Again, 24, full 15, or spot of the foul. I think I'm getting repetitive now, so just remember to get to a wider view. Here we are at the 40. So 40's not, we have no trouble when we snap it from the 40. So the 40 is no different than the 17. Okay? So if they're snapping here or if they're snapping here, we are going the full 15 yards if it's outside of 15. If it's inside this 15 barrier, then it's going to be a spot foul here, or it's going to be a spot foul here. There is absolutely zero difference. So if you'll just remember, DPI is either going to be a spot foul or a full 15 until we get to the 17-yard line. And I say the 17 because that's where you're going to get your full 15. Anything else is going to be a spot foul, right? So just make sure that we're from the 17, between the 17, going either way with our offense, we go a full 15. So treat this no different than you would treat it if it was snapped right down here. So that's all I want to kind of go over today. I've had several people asking about the DPI and the enforcement spot. So hope this clarifies some stuff. If it doesn't, feel free to reach out to me. Give me a text, call, or an email, and I'll do my best to get back with you as quick as I can. Guys, it's the end of the season's coming. Y'all just have great games and be strong and stay in your rule book. We'll talk to you soon. We'll send out another video hopefully this next week.